Everything sports. We've been talking about this. We're excited. This is our mock draft. This is your boy Derek Martin with his co-host Jeremy Woods. What's going on out there in Seattle, brother?
It's rainy and it's wet. Let's put it that
That
way.
sucks.
I'm
That
ready
sucks.
listen, I'm ready for the sun. I'm ready for the sun. I want this summer.
All right, I'm not
Summer
mad at that.
weather.
Not mad at that. Our boy, a little bit north of me, Jeremy Anderson. How's it going, man?
It's not raining and it doesn't suck in Florida. I've flown 4 days this week in blue skies. So you know what?
Yeah.
I did my time in
Yeah.
Seattle. I did my time in Seattle Woods. You enjoy that, and in fact, stay there. Keep it.
I love that.
Agreed.
And it seems like no matter what you do, you always got to have one Texas boy in the group. Chris, what's going down, big dog?
What's up, my boys? Good to see y'all. Everything's been great here. So, looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped,
Ready
man.
to kick it off.
I'm pretty pumped about this mock draft, something we discussed for a while. So just so everyone understands, we are going to do every team in the first round. We're going to go in order of Jeremy Woods, Jeremy Anderson, Chris Coley, then myself. However, when our respective team is on the board, we will select for our team. Also, one extra thing, we decided we're not going to do trades. We might discuss them, but just for the purposes of keeping this flowing, there will be no trades in this one. Maybe in the future we'll do that, but not this time. So, with that being said, Carolina Panthers is on the clock, and that is you, Woods. What do you see?
I think we all can agree on the same thing. Carolina needs a quarterback probably worse than any other team out there right now. So I'm going with Bryce Young.
Hey.
I agree with that. Alabama going to be big in this draft.
Mile away.
Get that Bama boy out of the way.
He's quick too. He a playmaker. So he's bringing a whole nother dimension for Carolina.
I will say is I agree they need the quarterback. Me personally, for my liking, I'm a CJ fan. I think the icing on the cake for me, first off, he balled out all year. The icing on the cake is how he handled the greatest defense in our nation in Georgia. What he did to them, he's literally a field goal away from making the championship. That was always the concern. Can he handle the bright lights? Well, he did more than that. So for me, it would be CJ. I'm just biased, though. I love that kid. I've been talking about him at work. I'm a CJ fan, but I agree. It does have to be quarterback here.
Hey, I would love to see that for the first pick, Ohio State.
Yeah.
But you know what? I could see CJ going first round too, or pick one. All I know is they need a quarterback. So it's either going to be Bryce Young or it's going to be CJ. Either or.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. All right, Jeremy Anderson, you're up with the Texans. How's this playing out, this pick, man?
Oh, wow. So there's who I should pick and who I'm probably going to pick. See, here's where Houston confuses me. Brand new defensive coach DeMeco Ryans come from the 49ers system that understands that defense gets you to the championship game, may not necessarily be the Super Bowl. The quarterback's been the issue there. I think they've stuck with Davis Mills too long. So I'm going to take the safe pick. All right. I really want to take Jalen Carter here because I know they need defensive line, and I think DeMeco is eventually going to build the team that way. But CJ Stroud is too good of a prospect. I think Davis Mills' time in Houston is done. He's a long neck with no arm. So CJ Stroud goes here.
CJ's off the board. And here's the thing. I like the pick. I'm with you. I'm not sure that's how it plays out because they have a defensive-minded coach.
Correct.
I can't say it again. I love CJ, so I think this is a win for them.
On my whole draft, I had Houston taking the number one defensive pick and then trying to get their quarterback with that 12th pick. with somebody left and trying to double up, but taking best player on the board first, which was the Will Anderson Jr.
So I had the Texans taking, even though they do need a quarterback. We all know they need a quarterback, but I also had them taking Will Anderson Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, I lean that way. Hey,
because they
Woods,
need,
just so
they
you
need
know,
defense too.
Woods, just so you know, you do got a little echo, brother. I just a heads up for our video. I just wanted to let you know there is a little echo for you. But let's keep it pushing.
I like seeing the two top quarterbacks going 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
that would be good to see.
Oh yeah, that'd be nasty. We got Arizona up next, and that's for you, Chris. How you see that one playing?
They need defense. They need all the pressure they can get, and the name I just mentioned, Will Anderson Jr., I would put in that position to wreak some havoc. He's the best player on the board. Another Alabama name in the top 3, 2 picks right there. So I think they go Will Anderson Jr.
I like that pick there. I really, really like that pick there.
So, for Arizona?
They need all the help they can get on that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, if there is a trade early, this is the spot. I think I could see the Colts or getting jumped here for a quarterback. I could see anyone that's interested.
With Texans.
I don't think the Texans are going to move though, man. I think they got.
Think so? What about Vegas?
No, I think. See, Vegas though, didn't they just picked up Jimmy G? I don't know if you want to draft a QB that high in the top, but maybe someone like the Falcons. There's talks about the Titans being over with their quarterback situation. You know, you just never know that those might be some teams interested right there to move up a little.
Arizona could do that for sure.
What about the, you never know. What about Green Bay if they are able to move Aaron Rodgers? Maybe they get up a little higher just to have that fresh blood. We don't know what they have in Love yet. Just something to throw out there. But the other thing I'll throw out there is I think personally Carter from Georgia is the better option defensive as far as defensive player, but I truly think he's going to fall due to his issues.
Off the field issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Talent wise, I think he's the one.
Yeah. And what I was reading and seeing on him, he plays 80% of the time. He takes plays off. There's that. And then there's the off field issues. So it could hurt him. Like you're saying, I agree.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about?
Jalen Carter
from Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to hurt him.
Somebody's going to do it.
Well, I mean, besides the legal issues, I mean, the fact that he gained the 10 pounds and had a poor pro day, he's definitely going to slip. The rumor is that Seattle's pretty high on him, which, like I said, this is a dude that arguably should be top 3. Him falling to the 5, it's not a big deal. I think he'll still be a top 10 pick, but he's going to slide a little. But next up, we do have the Colts. And here's what I see happening in this one. They have 2 quarterbacks that I think could go early for them. We got Will Levis and AR, Anthony Richardson. Now, for me, there's no way I can see as a GM. I love what he could be, but I don't want to risk in the top 5 pick AR. You know what I mean? There's so much uncertainty there. So for me, I'm going to go Will Levis for the Colts as their new quarterback to get this thing started over. That's what I see playing out.
So, and out of this draft class, Levis has been my favorite.
Or Levis, that's my bad.
Yeah. I think he's got the size. I think he's got all the measurables, which oftentimes doesn't tell you much. But I think he's the most pro ready out of this group that could start for somebody tomorrow. So
I did have them taking QB first round. But I had them taking Richardson or Stroud, but I didn't have Stroud. I didn't have Houston taking Stroud.
Yeah, I had Stroud there at that pick.
Yeah, I had Indy taking Stroud.
Yeah.
Because Arizona doesn't need a quarterback. We all know that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But okay, they're not going to draft one.
They do, but they're not going to draft one, especially with the new coach they just brought in, who absolutely loves.
Right.
He loves him. So right now, Arizona drafting a quarterback's out of the question.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I could get behind that.
So I had the Colts taking either Richardson or Stroud, but Levis is Will's a good pick too.
Yeah. Either way, they need a young guy to start this thing over, man. They've been kicking the wheels on vet after vet after vet, and it's not working. You know, you did it 3 years. It's time, because here's the thing. If they would have started this process, this defense has been one of the top defenses in the league, and it just went to a waste, and now they're starting to lose players. So, I mean, it's time. It's time. They got to go quarterback here.
Well, we know Matt Ryan isn't the answer.
No, yeah,
Never was. Will been playing in the SEC, so you know he's got his credentials and his credit there. So
I like how this played out, man. We didn't even have to do much for this first one. Seattle's on the clock and Jeremy's on the clock. I like how that played out.
Woo!
All right, so I know what I want to draft.
Ooh.
And that's quarterback.
Whoa.
Because you know,
with the fifth,
we need a quarterback. But this is the thing. I know I've been hearing speculation a lot lately that Pete Carroll wants to go back to the old defense that we had when it came to the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
So I have to go Jalen Carter with this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's all I've been hearing about is Jalen Carter this, Jalen Carter that. Richard Sherman just came out and said he talked to Pete, saying he's aiming to go back to the Legion of Boom. He's heading that direction defensive wise. So I don't think they're going to do quarterback.
I agree with you. I brought it up in my take when Chris did his pick that I thought Carter was the better option, but Seattle, like I've said, there's lots of talks to you guys liking him, and you guys have been known to take guys that, you know, are known to be character issues, if you will, or play with the line. And hey, I think this is something I could see you guys doing and having success with him.
Let's just, you know what, I put my faith in Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
and he's a defensive mastermind when it comes to defenses. Unfortunately, the last few years we haven't been there. We haven't, and I think he's trying to get Geno Smith a ring sooner than later, because we all know Smith doesn't have much time.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so. With that move, that puts Jeremy Anderson on the clock with Detroit.
With Detroit, Dan Campbell. I think he's still biting kneecaps.
Okay.
Looking at what Detroit needs, you know, being a quarterback guy, I think this is another safe spot that Richardson could go, but I still think it's too high. The guy that I like in this pick, is if Dan Campbell is trying to build a foundation there, is I like Christian Gonzalez, cornerback out of Oregon.
Yeah.
So I think he goes defensive back. I think Goff's got another few years. They've got they're working on the offensive pieces, but I think he goes after a shutdown corner early.
I like Gonzalez. Yep.
Yeah, I had them taking Witherspoon. So either way, it's a cornerback.
Right.
I like that pick.
Yeah, to be honest, here's the thing I could see with this pick. If they do, I think what we have happening is going to be similar to what happens where the top linemen are gone on the defensive line. The top quarterbacks have already gone. I think they will go either corner if they draft, but I wouldn't be also surprised if they trade back just slightly to get a little more draft stock, maybe in the second round or third round, just because the pieces they need have fallen off or fall off the board. Here's the thing: remember, their top receiver is out for a month or a month and a half or so due to his suspension for gambling.
Yep.
It's very easy. They could go wide receiver, but you're not going to draft wide receiver at 6. So I can see them.
Right.
Maybe this is where that Tennessee pick comes in, and they move up to get their quarterback. But once again, we're not doing trades, but I'm just saying I can see this is a position where the Lions do move back.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. So, Chris, what we got, man? We got the Raiders. What you got for us?
Well, you mentioned them getting Jimmy G. They've also just picked up Jacoby Myers. They just picked up a linebacker. So I think I'm going to protect Jimmy G, and I'm going to take Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State and put a big boy up there in front of him. Because they need offensive line from what I'm reading. So best man on the board right now, 313, 6'6". So I haven't seen many videos of Paris Johnson, but you did mention that game where they balled out against Georgia and being able to let C.J. Stroud play, right? So this is the guy on that offensive line that also proven his part there. So I would protect Jimmy G if I was Vegas. You know, he's brittle. So who else would you take in that moment, or who do y'all like?
No, who's their backup?
Quarterback?
Yeah, so you got Jimmy G. Who's the other one they signed?
You say Stidham left, so he's not there anymore.
I don't remember who they have as the. I don't remember.
I can see Vegas drafting a quarterback.
I was gonna say I could definitely see a little AR here. It's a little rich for my blood. I can see it happening though.
Jimmy's used to it, right? So he's seen it before.
I don't think they will, just because Jimmy G he's a little brittle, like Chris was saying. Yeah. He's a little soft, and he gets a little upset if you do anything along those lines.
Right.
So I can see them playing it out for a year or two before they draft a quarterback, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Derek, where'd you go?
I'm here, big dog. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said after the way the whole Trey Lance thing went down with Garoppolo in San Francisco, I see Josh McDaniels giving Jimmy 1 year before he stirs that pot. So because Jimmy, unfortunately got his panties in a bunch when Trey Lance was drafted, and I think part of it, especially after all the success that Purdy had, he shut down. Jimmy wasn't playing again, even if he was available.
Yeah. The only reason why Jimmy played last year is because Trey Lance got injured. Okay. Then Jimmy G came into play. And don't get me wrong, Jimmy G, he's a decent quarterback. I mean, he is. And then he got injured.
Let me throw one. Wild card at you. Let me throw one wild card. I don't think it'll happen, but it very well could. We know Waller went to my team, the Giants. We also know Jacobs is on the tag and he's not happy, and I could see them moving on. What if they went Bijan Robinson here? I don't think they will. What if they did that? For this year, they play with a two-headed monster, and then you let Jacobs go and you got your boy.
I don't see it.
I'm just saying the Raiders have a history of drafting pretty wild.
Right.
Well, I get it, but that's a long shot.
Hey, I would not be surprised at that.
I'm not surprised with anything anymore when it comes to these drafts. So I mean, Who knows? It could happen, but I don't.
No.
Jacobs wants to get paid. I do know that. I do know Jacobs wants to get paid, and they don't want to pay him.
Right.
So I could see it.
All right, so
and your video is gone, Derek.
Yeah, I know. I put it. I got it where it's strictly. It's still recording, guys. I got it on just the mock draft.
Cool.
It's just the mock. So y'all are still here. We're still going. So we got Atlanta. We got Atlanta on the board. Now, man, I'm torn here on this pick. I'm torn. I'm going to say if no trades happen, I think this is where we get AR, guys.
I would agree.
I think this is where we get AR. So I have Anthony Richardson because, like I said, we're not doing trades. This is where he comes off.
They just drafted a quarterback, though.
Yeah, but remember, they drafted a quarterback from a class that no one believed in that fell. Anthony Richardson's stock is sky high right now.
Well, I do know they're going to. If they were going to start with the quarterback they have now.
If they were a believer, I don't know if Mariota would have been the guy for like 3/4 of the season.
Right.
Mariota was just a fill-in.
Well, that's my point. I don't know if you had so much belief in him. I don't know if he's a fill-in.
I think they just wanted us all to all believe. They believed in him, but everybody knows Mariota. He wasn't the answer.
Yeah,
he was just he was filling in.
Oh, that's yeah.
And they just traded for Heineke, and you got Desmond Ritter.
Right.
So they have two quarterbacks, and Heineke's a pretty good quarterback.
I like Heineke.
You know what? I will say
Heineke.
He's pretty good, and I can bet you he beats out Ritter for the starting job.
I agree with that. Definitely agree with
that. I mean, I can see. Is it likely they go quarterback? I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, my thing with the pick is you get your quarterback now, and you get him for 5 years. Heineke's not locked in, and he's now a veteran. So now I'm going to have to, if he does show out, I got to lock him into some money. This gets you your quarterback for cheap. Not cheap, cheaper, and then you get that 5th year. So that was my thinking. I am a huge Heineke fan, man. I got to see him light up our division for a while. I like him. What you have happening here, Woods, at 9 for Chicago?
Chicago, man. Excuse my language, but Chicago is just a shit show right now.
What? Really? That blew my mind.
I really like their quarterback, though.
I will say that. They did this all season. I can't lie. I think the Chicago's going to be tough.
They did a lot. People. They did a lot. And I actually have them going defense again.
Okay.
Where is he? Lucas Van. I'm trying to find him on the. So I got them drafting Lucas Van Ness from Iowa because they need it.
Defense. What if they went Bijan with Fields? Ooh.
But I could also see them drafting a running. I could actually see them drafting Robinson too.
They got rid of Montgomery.
So you're
that's what I'm saying.
Are you locking into the edge though?
Yeah.
Defense. They need help on defense. Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah, they need help on defense.
I'm not in love with him with the other players still available at edge, but I'll agree that I think they will address
I
defense.
I can see them going Nolan Smith too.
Yeah, I definitely agree they'll go defense though.
But on my notes paperwork here, I had Nolan Smith. I had Atlanta taking Nolan.
Okay, I could see that too though. I could definitely see
I had Atlanta taking Nolan Smith, and then Chicago taking Lucas.
Okay. Anderson, you gonna ride with the Bird Gang, man?
Yeah. So Woods, just to get him off my board, who did you take?
What with
Lucas Van Ness.
Lucas,
edge rusher from Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get him off my board. So Lucas Van Ness. Okay, all right. Now I'm with everyone. Okay, so here's where I think Bijan Robinson goes. Since Miles Sanders left, since Miles Sanders left, I believe he went to Carolina. I think this is, I mean, if I'm the GM, I don't want to pay any running back. I don't want to pay any running back top 10 money.
Right.
Period. So I think this is a little high.
I think it's the perfect fit. It's the one thing I'm scared of is exactly what you're saying right here.
So yeah. I mean, I think you get a running back on the cheap. You don't have to pay him much. I think the Eagles with Miles Sanders being gone, I think this is where Bijan Robinson goes.
That offense would be scary.
That's what scares me. Yes, exactly.
Well, this is the thing. So there's a lot of talk right now that Henry's getting traded to Philly.
Yep.
Come draft time.
Yeah, I seen that.
So if I had Philly drafting Robinson like you did, because if they don't trade for Henry, they do need a running back because Rashad Penny is not the answer.
Right.
I agree.
Rashad Penny, give him up to 10 games, he'll be injured. It's just his track record. I love the guy to pieces, and he's a hell of a back, but the problem is he's injury prone.
Right.
So I wish him nothing but success over there, but give him 10 games, he'll be injured. It's just it's his track record.
So in other words, it'll be the Philly snow, not the Seattle rain, that'll get him hurt. So.
Yeah. But I did have them drafting Robinson unless they trade for Henry. Because that trade talk's heating up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like it's been going on for forever, though. I mean, there was a good rumor that Miami was going to go after Henry, and that apparently fell apart. So,
well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Titans. Chris, what you think? On the clock.
So I'm debating between another offensive tackle or a wide receiver because they need playmakers.
Okay.
Do they protect Tannehill? Do they try to replace him? That's all off the board now, right? Pretty much. So that they get a quarterback later in the draft with one of the other guys, second, third round if they needed it. I like the TCU wide receiver the most, but I think the best wide receiver on the board at this point would be the guy from Ohio State, Jackson Smith.
Yep.
They lost Robert Woods. They have Henry, right? They just need to get the ball out and get throwing. I'd love to see Tennessee do something like that or take my guy from TCU. I just like the TCU guy a little bit better because he's bigger. And let's just do
Quentin
that.
Johnson?
Let's have him take Quentin. Yeah, Quentin Johnston.
Yep.
He's a big wide receiver, right? Like they lost A.J. Brown. They missed that. So let's say that they're going to take Quentin Johnson.
All right, so we're going Quentin?
Yep.
I like that pick. Because God knows they need a wide receiver.
Yeah, I can agree.
The Ohio State guy, he's kind of had some injuries. He didn't play the full season. USC, Jordan, and then you got Zay Flowers, which I watched a little bit of him. But the TCU, just the way that they balled out this year, as far as they got, You know what I mean? I hope that gives him a little bit more spotlight and credibility to play those big games and come up big. And they need that, right? Tennessee needs to ball out and throw the ball.
Wow.
Let's just put it this way. Tannehill, this is probably Tannehill's last year as the Titans quarterback.
I bet
if he even plays the entire year.
One of the picks later in the draft, I bet you Tennessee takes a quarterback. What do they have to lose?
Wow. So watch how this played out, though. This is the interesting thing, right? This is why this gets fun. So you took Quentin Johnston, and now I'm on the clock as the Houston Texans. If this played out like this in real life, I think I'd run to turn this pick in. Earlier, we drafted C.J. Stroud. What better than getting his top receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba,
his teammates?
Getting JSN off the board. And that's what I'm going to do here.
Running it, yeah, I like it.
I'm going to pair them and have them team up for another 5 years.
That's like the Jacksonville with Sunshine and then what's his name, the running back. Why not take your best friend?
That's right. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So
Cincinnati just proved that right with Joe and
who'd you choose for Tennessee?
Tennessee went Quentin Johnson.
Okay.
I like that, Anderson.
Yeah, I did. I had to get my garage lights back on.
Yeah.
So
put it on a timer.
All right. So Houston took who?
I went JSN out of Ohio State, wide receiver.
Okay, gotcha.
So this puts,
I like it.
Yep, that got Woods on the board now with the Jets.
It's going to play out perfect for Anderson on the next pick, too. We're 2 for 2.
Yeah, we're doing great with that, right?
Hey,
The Jets.
And just keep in mind, too, while we're talking about this is very possible this could be a Green Bay pick.
Yeah. The Jets is a hard one because we're all waiting for this Aaron Rodgers trade. We don't know what's going to happen with the Aaron Rodgers trade. We don't know who's leaving the Jets. We don't know which picks are leaving the Jets. We have no idea of what's going on with this Aaron Rodgers trade. But I do have them taking let's see here. Paris Johnson Jr., the offensive tackle. I'm trying to find him on here.
I have the boy for Georgia, offensive tackle as well.
Who'd you say you're going with?
Paris Johnson Jr.
I thought he already went off, right? Yeah, Paris Johnson Jr. went to the Raiders. I believe Chris made that pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're gonna do. Where is he? We'll do. Because I'm gonna go offense.
They're gonna have to protect whatever quarterback they have coming in.
Yeah, I'll do Broderick Jones from Georgia.
All right.
That's the pick I had on my paper, Jeremy.
And he's a lineman?
Yeah, offensive tackle.
Yeah, offensive tackle. My bad on that.
No, that's all good.
I thought I heard his name. I thought I heard Paris go earlier.
He's 6'5", 311. So he pretty solid dude.
Worked out perfectly. We're at Jeremy Anderson with his boys, the Patriots.
Rolled on it.
All right. So, I'm going to disagree with PFF here. All right. They're saying that they need a quarterback, a tackle, and an edge rusher. I agree with 2 of those. Okay. I don't agree with 1. So I think, I think you've got to protect Mac Jones.
Yep.
So I think this is an ideal place. I mean, if you're from Rutgers, if you're from Rutgers, Bill Belichick likes to draft you regardless of what your talent is. But the guy that I like, But the guy that I like Skoronski out of Northwestern. I think you've got to go with the best lineman that's still available on the board. And do everything, and you give Bill O'Brien that first pick. Now, if we're not talking trades, or if we were talking trades, this is where I would like to see New England grow a set and trade this to the Ravens and do everything that you can to bring Lamar Jackson in the building and get rid of this pick.
Okay.
But usually when it
do that.
But usually when it comes to quarterbacks, because I've watched New England pass on Jackson at 31st. They sure as hell aren't going to do it this year. Yeah, I think they barely believe in Mac, but they take Skoronski, tackle out of Northwestern.
Man, word on the street is they don't have any faith in Mac anymore. He stirred the pot too much last year.
He was too emotional.
No, I disagree. I don't think it was Mac's fault.
I'm not saying it is Mac. I'm not saying it is Mac's fault, but they're making it out to be Mac's fault.
I think they're throwing him under the bus on this one because he did because the outburst didn't fit the Bill Belichick mode. And as much as people are crying for Matt to go, there's another Jones on the East Coast that had one good year and a coaching change, and all of a sudden he just got paid.
Yep.
Who's that quarterback, Derek? I think he's out your way.
You talking about the good old Vanilla Vic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's a good call to protect him. I agree in that. To be honest, I had good old Peter coming off a little bit earlier in one of these other tackle spots, but I agree they're going to protect whoever it is here. Maybe even go AR if he does fall here.
Right.
I would love to see them make a splash move too. That'd be pretty dope to get a Lamar in the building. So, yeah, I'm with you. Chris, you got Green Bay, which could almost be back-to-back possibly on draft night if the trade happens.
What do you mean back-to-back?
Well, if, I'm assuming the Jets are going to have to give up pick 13, and now they're on the clock with 15 if the Jets want Aaron Rodgers. So that'd be pretty much back-to-back.
You can probably almost bank on that happening.
Yeah.
They're waiting for when I forget what the date was, but at a certain date, getting rid of Aaron Rodgers gets astronomically cheaper, right? Like that's what the whole holdup is.
Well, they started negotiating like last night again, so I'm pretty sure they're going to lock this in.
So you're saying this is going to be the pick 13 would be Green Bay and pick 15 would be Green Bay, is what you're saying?
I'm assuming it's going to take at least their first round pick. I don't see how they cannot trade that first round pick to get Aaron Rodgers.
Right. I could see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
So, when's the last time Green Bay's drafted a wide receiver with their first pick?
Oh, baby, are we doing it?
Never.
They're not going to. No.
They've never drafted a wide receiver first round.
I know there's a name on this board that's really good that's in the top 5 of players still ranked here, which is Tyree Wilson, edge from Texas Tech. They need edge, so it says. But also, what do you think about a tight end going right now?
Yeah, I could see something like that.
Yeah.
The dude from Utah or from Notre Dame, those boys are both pretty good.
If Love's your starter, that gives them an easy target to throw to over the middle of the field.
Yeah,
it does.
They're going to need it. They're going to need it with Love being quarterback. They're going to need some big tight ends out there to help out a little bit.
So then let's do this. Let's go. Let me do a little. Who do y'all like better, Notre Dame or the Utah boy? I kind of personally like the Notre Dame boy.
He's the only one that I saw play.
Yeah.
I had him drafting Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton, he's an athletic little fella right there, man. He's a
little fella.
Yeah, that little fella
like
right there.
6'3", 246.
Yeah, he's pretty legit. I like him.
Okay, well, let's go with Green Bay getting a little splash player in the middle, tight end. Best one on the board comes to Green Bay with Dalton Kincaid then.
Is that what we're doing here?
That's what we'll do. They won't take wide receiver. We know that. So
yeah,
they'll get one later. But I just, seeing that boy from Texas Tech through our draft still sitting there, like somebody going to get a really good defensive player. And maybe that's what Washington would do next,
So we got Dalton coming off. All right, so now we're on to Washington.
When it comes to Green Bay drafting a wide receiver, they haven't drafted a wide receiver first round since 2002.
Yeah, I was going to say 20 plus for sure. Yeah.
Green Bay needs a wide receiver.
That's why Aaron got frustrated, right?
But they're not doing it.
Man, so this is interesting right here to see how this is playing out for Washington. You don't want to go center too early. You don't do that.
There's not a high-ranked center really in this draft.
Well, there definitely is. That's not the case. I mean, Schmitz from Minnesota, he's ranked 35. The issue is you don't draft centers high. That's why their ranks are like that. You know what I mean? Exactly. Centers are positions that you could usually just plug them in and have success. It's not where you're dealing with edge rushers. Not everyone is Donaldson coming at you in the middle. So usually it's okay. I don't think they need quarterback. I think they're going to go with Howe. You could see they were leaning towards him last year by the time it was over. What I think could happen here, man, I can see this team trying to get more weapons on the field, to be honest. And not only weapons, I can also see the other side. I could see them getting more DBs out there.
What about safety?
And, well, that is something I could see, but we still have Witherspoon on our board, and I don't know if I can let him fall anymore. So
I agree.
I have them drafting a cornerback.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put.
But I had Witherspoon going a long time ago.
Oh, me too. That's why I'm like, man, I don't think I can let this rock anymore. I'm gonna let him go to Washington. And when you think about that division, you think about the weapons Philly has, you think about what the Giants are trying to do with speed, you think about what the Cowboys are doing, and there's talks they might add another weapon. They just added Cooks. I mean, in our division, you can't have too many DBs. You just can't. So right. I can see Witherspoon in this draft. I don't know if he'll make it that far, but I see it being a DB.
I like it.
What you guys thinking for Pittsburgh here, Woods? What you got?
I got Pittsburgh going offensive tackle, and with
oh my God, I can't. You already broke my heart.
What do you say?
Offensive tackle.
Who you got them taking? Which one?
Donnell Wright.
Okay.
Tennessee boy.
I'm gonna challenge this. Here's why I'm challenging this. Because they have this draft would have been a dream for Pittsburgh. Hear me out. They have Joey Porter Jr. still on the board. Joey Porter is a legend for Pittsburgh. All right,
I agree.
They could have went that way.
Cornerback too.
Or what about that defensive tackle coming out of Pitt who is supposed to be another legend, or they're comparing him to another guy who was a legend out of Pitt, the one Aaron Donaldson. We left Cansey out there on this pick. I think you missed the mark on this one, man. That could have been great for Pitt right there.
Well, So this is the thing. I had Porter going to Washington because I had Witherspoon going a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I had to rearrange some things, man.
I get it. All right.
Come on now.
So I think here we go. We got Anderson. You got Lions. Did you make the original Lions pick too? I think you did.
Yeah,
right?
I did. I mean,
Look at you, Detroit fella.
Let's
Wow.
go GM.
Yeah. So I mean,
GM.
I get Detroit twice in the same draft.
All right.
So
Yes, sir.
so so this is where I believe that Detroit believes in Goff enough that they're going to go and get him some help.
Okay.
They went foundational player the last time, but I think this is a real good place where they reach for a wide receiver, and Detroit doesn't have a good history with wide receivers. They usually like to take them first overall. But I think this is where Jordan Addison out of USC, comes off the board, and I think
that's a good pick.
I think Goff gets his target. So yeah. I mean, here's his home run threat, Jordan Addison from USC.
I like that. I like that pick a lot.
This one's a 4.40.
Yeah. Kid's quick.
I can see it, wide receiver or tight end. I can see him going tight end too.
Yeah, I agree.
That he's got a very quick step here, and he gets a step on DBs pretty quick. He's a good weapon.
Played for Lincoln Riley last year, and Lincoln Riley's helped a few people win a Heisman Trophy. So the guy can coach.
It's a good move. So that's solid.
Right.
All right, Chris, you got the Bucks here. Tampa.
Keep in mind, Amanda Martin is listening to everything that you say right now. So,
oh no.
Yeah, so don't screw this up.
So make it interesting.
Oh, my board just went down.
My board, the Bucks came up. My board goes down.
Literally, I'm starting over. Oh shit.
All right. Well, what position were you considering? I can let you know what's available with your board crashing.
That's annoying, dude. It keeps trying to refresh my screen because it's got this little ticker timer thing, and I could try. For Tampa, I was thinking either offense or that edge rush was still up there. They need linebacker.
Yeah, we got Nolan Smith. We still have Nolan Smith available at edge, if that's what you're talking about. Or you got Miles Murphy from Clemson, and then the one you were talking about, Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech.
I like the Tech boy. That's a big.
You want to go Tyree Wilson here?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're judging that off your Texas blood. I think that was you being biased.
And see,
hey.
Yeah.
I was biased on my whole draft to try to get Bijan, so I rigged my whole thing just to make sure that worked. No, I'm just kidding.
That's all that what this was, is just to make it fall.
So
it's all plotted and planned.
I think I think things get interesting with this pick because Derek, the Bucks have had a lot of turnover at tight end this offseason.
Yeah, that was my thought.
People retire.
Yeah,
I think this could be a spot where you might see the kid, the tight end out of Notre Dame, come off the board, and and they give good old Baker, a big body target too.
Well, there's two things. I think you got to sit and have this thought long. You got to think long and hard if you're the Bucks. I agree with you about the tight end, but I think you got to sit and think long and hard about two things. One, do you maybe reach a little to get offensive line help because of how bad it's been? And then two, do you really leave Nolan Smith there on a defensive line that struggled to get pressure?
Right.
Barrett's going to come back, but he just took a nasty injury, and those young Bucks did not show it. I mean, Nolan Smith is a dog. I think that would be, if I had to guess, I think I might lean Nolan Smith for the Bucks. But Wilson, you did it with Wilson. Either way, they got an edge. So I'm with that. They got to address that. I'm with you there.
You said Tyree Wilson?
That's what. Yeah, he went. Chris went Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech.
It's like I need a screenshot of one of y'all's things so I can re-put all this into our picks real quick. That is annoying. It kept trying to make me refresh, and
that's all right. We got you.
Yeah. Well, if you just say the position, we could keep you up to date with what's there. So next up are in Seattle, and this is where I get skipped because, like I said, we're drafting our own team. So, Woods, you're back on the clock, brother.
Well, I'm going to keep riding that defensive train, and since Nolan Smith is still on the board, they're going to draft Nolan.
Got to take him here.
Wow. 2 dogs. What are the chances you get both dogs?
I mean, realistically, I mean, I had Nolan Smith going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then I had Seattle drafting Myles Murphy. But since Nolan's still on the board, I'm going to pick him for Seattle.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot for you guys, to be honest. I don't think you could go wrong right there. All right, so
Myles still is on the board, isn't he?
I'm going to take my pick back, and now I have the Chargers.
Chargers, yeah.
And what I see happening for the Chargers, I think they have a good team, to be honest. I mean, there's not much. There's not many holes, I should say, when you think about this team. Now,
it says they didn't even lose a free agent this year.
Yeah. What I would want to do here, probably, I would lean wide receiver. But I don't like who's left on the board. So that's not where I'm going to go. And instead, I think for my liking, since he fell, I think this is where I go Joey Porter Jr.
Yep.
I think that he could come in and help that team immediately and make an impact.
I agree.
So that's where I'm going to go right there.
I agree with that one.
And then that gives. So I just went Woods. You're technically up again, big dog.
All right, I got
Ravens.
Yeah, I got Baltimore dropped in wide receiver.
Okay.
Just because they need as many weapons as they can get. I know they just picked up Odell, and word on the street is they're trying to go get homeboy from Arizona too. But I'm going to have them draft Zay Flowers from Boston College.
That's not bad to think they have Zay Flowers, Bateman, and then Odell. That's definitely a speedy bunch.
I like it.
That would be pretty cool.
I forgot about Odell.
Yeah.
Good reminder.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good group right there.
Add to complimenting him out the gate, that make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Anderson, you got Vikings on the board.
Okay. Wow. So, you guys are keeping me up north. Okay. So there's going to be a theme tonight. So, the next door neighbor. So, I think this is where Kalijah Kancey is too good to pass up here.
Who's
you need an interior defense. Kalijah Kancey.
Oh yeah, I like this pick.
Defensive interior out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think the offense is fine out there. They just got to find a way to keep the other team from scoring, and I believe you build it from the inside out. So I'm taking Kalijah Kancey, a defensive lineman out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. I don't have much to argue there. I mean, you look at the wide receivers that have come off the board. You look at the corners that have come off. I think that this is a chance for him to shine. I think that this is a good place for him to go. I like that pick. Chris, this leaves you with Jacksonville. And if you wanna just say which way you're leaning, I'll give you the top of the position since yours crashed on you.
I know that we still got a good safety on the board. I know they need that.
Yeah, we have the top safety left, Brian Branch. He's still out there.
I like that pick for them to get some solid over the top there.
All right, so we're going safety here?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then look how this worked out real quick. It's me again. It worked out perfectly. All right. I'm up for my Giants, and let me tell you, what I would like here, probably with how this board fell, I would want to try to call or hope for a call from anywhere from pick 28 to 31. I would want the draft stock. My top receivers are gone. Obviously, that's a need. And we just talked about it a few picks ago. You don't draft a center too early. Now, if I could get to pick 30 or 31, I'm okay with getting that center on that 5-year plan and then also possibly getting an extra third or whatever it'll cost at this point, okay? But like I said, we're not doing trades, and there's still someone I like a lot left, and it fills a need. So I'm going to go with Deonte Banks, corner out of Maryland here. I think that automatically helps a DB group that absolutely needs it. We seen it last year with all the injuries. It was absolutely insane. We were getting murdered out there. So I can see in this scenario, I absolutely got to go Banks here.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense.
Like it.
Yeah, I'm not going to reach for a wide receiver when, the top few are gone. Right. It's not even like just the top one is gone. We've seen a few fly off, so I'm going to get me a quality corner here. And just like I was talking about with Washington, man, you can't have too many good DBs with the receivers we play in our division. So,
all right, everybody can take a water break. Dallas is on the clock next. So.
Yeah, Chris, you're back up, big dog.
Water break. I got vitamin water over here. So,
he doesn't know what to do. He didn't prepare for this. Bijan's gone. He mentally wasn't prepared for this.
He was only picking one guy.
Fault. It's not my fault. Hey, good news. Speaking of Dallas.
You haven't trained up drafting quarterback or what?
My Stars are winning 3-1 up here right now. Go Dallas. Anyway, what do we have for offensive tackle, offensive line left on the board there? What do we?
Yeah, if you got Anton Harrison from Oklahoma, he's still there. You got Jones from Ohio State, he's still there. Those are probably the top 2 offensive tackles. Now, if you want to go interior, you got Osiris Torrance from the Gators, he's available. And then, that's probably it before you start getting too far. Those are probably the last 3.
I wouldn't mind seeing them go running back from Alabama, right? We need to replace Zeke. I don't think Pollard could go the whole season. I don't think if Bijan's not at that pick, we wouldn't take a running back. I would think we would go let's go with the boy from Oklahoma and protect that offensive line while we can get something decent.
So you're going offensive line?
That makes a ton of sense.
All right, so you're going Harrison, tackle from Oklahoma.
Correct.
All right, I like that pick. I mean, you got to keep your quarterback up, right? He's been running into these injuries, so.
Down to the running backs getting hurt, you know. Zeke, it's unfortunate. He's still unsigned, right? So who's say he can't come back for cheaper?
Right.
So
I know one position Zeke won't be playing ever again, and that's center. So.
Wow. I like it.
Got humbled.
I love it.
So who's got
that was embarrassing.
Who's got Buffalo?
So let's see. You made that
Derek got
pick.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I think so because
I jumped in. Sorry.
yeah, you jumped in. I made that pick. So I think it's
Is it me?
I think it
Yeah,
is
I
you
think so.
because I made the last actual official pick of our order. So yep, it's you, Woods.
So I know Buffalo lost some key players on defense this year.
Yeah.
And looking at the board here, I don't like that Myles Murphy's still on the board, but I'm going to go Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback out of Mississippi State for Buffalo.
Wow. Okay, I thought you were going to say linebacker. All right, I could get down with it, I guess. I mean, they definitely their DBs were getting picked on a little bit. That's not a bad pick. Yeah, I could get down with that. Anderson, you're following up with the Bengals here.
All right, Cincinnati. I used to live near there, so I am looking at all the edge rushers available, and it's like, man, some of these guys are a little too good to pass up.
Okay.
But I also know that keeping Burrow upright has got to remain a priority. And you can never have enough playmakers. So, I think this is a good spot for the kid from Notre Dame, Michael Mayer. I think they provide some blocking in the running game. Somebody that can catch the ball quickly when that offensive line lets everybody through. So I think if Michael Mayer is still on the board, I think this is a real good spot to grab him late in the first round.
Yeah, I like that. I could get down with that.
Dallas drafted him.
Yeah, I could see that with Schultz gone.
Yep.
All right, so that puts you back up, Chris.
With New Orleans.
You have New Orleans.
Hey,
yep.
So fill me in with the Derek Carr. He denied all that and is becoming a free agent, right? So he's technically not the Saints starting quarterback, right?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah. No, he's on the Saints roster. He's signed.
Yeah. I was going to say he locked in.
Yeah, he's signed.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought I saw something.
He signed 4 years, didn't he?
He's there.
So maybe I just read that he forced what's Vegas to make him a free agent to be signed. That makes sense.
That happened. Yeah. He forced his hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jameis Winston, I believe, re-signed there as well. So,
yes.
Quarterback off the board. I feel like they need to stay heavy on defense. What do we have for defensive line, edge rush?
You got Myles Murphy from Clemson.
I like him. That's right. Murphy is definitely – he was one of my top players there at that position.
Okay.
You going Myles?
Yeah.
That's linebacker, right? He's linebacker, isn't he?
He plays, the edge rusher. Same, yeah.
Edge. Yeah, he's definitely I was trying to click on his name to pop up some information. I like Myles Murphy coming from Clemson.
Yeah.
New Orleans, their defense has kind of been the best part of them. If they can keep that together, it helps keep them in games with everything they've done and somehow beating Tampa Bay and Tom. And
they're just
bringing some pressure.
Yeah.
What?
They're just in cap trouble. So yeah. I mean, this is drafting late in the first round is a real good spot for them. I mean, because they were overpaying everyone trying to get Drew Brees another ring.
Ring, yep.
So
the prices of Super Bowls.
Yeah, so here we go. I got the Eagles, and oh man, what I think here, the Eagles, they're such a good team. What I think they're going to do here, because they lost, I'm filling a position that they Let me see, actually, before I say that.
They lost 2 offensive tackles.
Yeah, I want to see real quick. Okay, so the first pick, Robinson went there, running back.
Yeah.
So, all right.
We have 1 or 2. 1.
Let me look at the board real quick. So I think
that's where Bijan went.
All right. So here's what I originally wanted to do. I wanted to originally go with a linebacker here because they lost one of their top linebackers. But you're right. They do have to fill some needs on the offensive line. I think this is O'Cyrus Torrence from the Florida Gators, guard. I think that's what happens here. I was going to go linebacker, but yeah, they just paid their quarterback. They got to keep him upright.
O'Cyrus Torrence. Okay.
Yep. And then the last pick comes down to you, Mr. Woods.
I mean, does Kansas City really need anybody with
they can make it work
over there? But I originally had them drafting Jordan and Addison because they do kind of need a wide receiver. So the next best would be Josh Downs from North Carolina.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I like that.
What about the running back from Bama?
That's interesting.
Their running back did pretty good last year. They have, I think, they're pretty stacked at running back if they can stay healthy.
Right.
You got Clyde. You got, I can't remember his name, but
I thought he was hurt.
Well, I mean, they rotate.
He was hurt. He was hurt.
Whew. My stars are barely hanging in there.
Yeah, they had so damn many hyphens on their team last year. They would have made a divorce attorney happy. So, but
yeah.
But yeah. So you got Downs going?
Addison. Yeah, Downs. Yeah. Sorry. Josh Downs.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to wrap up the first round for us. That's what we did. As we look down, here we go. Checking out the pics of what we did, and I will have a picture up of them as well. All right, so there you have it. Let us know if you agree, what you think is going to happen, who's your team in the comments below. Like, comment, share. We appreciate you coming, man. Peace.
All right.